So the popular YouTube personality Bradley Martyn has made online headlines for slapping a streamer who goes by the name of Stable Ronaldo.
Damn, actually?
Bradley Martyn's well into his 30s now. He's got a well-established career. He's got a popular clothing line. I'm sure he's got other revenue streams, including his own chain of gyms. So what on earth is going to cause a seemingly successful and mature by age man to effectively lose his cool, lose control of his emotions, lash out and behave in this way? Was he simply teaching this streamer, Stable Ronaldo, a lesson in respect? Or is there something deeper going on? Now, I suspect this clip here from Dr. Robert Greene, a popular author as many titles such as The 48 Laws of Power, can give us a clue.
The worst things are people who are insecure, because a lot of people turn aggressive and envious and ugly because they're very insecure about themselves.
So you heard Dr. Greene there talking about insecurity. Now, what exactly is this insecurity when it comes to Bradley Martyn? Well, if you take a look at Bradley's content since he started close to a decade ago, a simple flick through his thumbnails and some of his content can give you a pretty good idea. We're talking, of course, about Bradley's hat wearing and the hair underneath it. Bradley has pretty much been wearing this confidence cap exclusively throughout the whole time we've seen him online. Now, I want to point out, I only feel comfortable talking about this, and this isn't a exposing him or this isn't a calling him out video, because it's actually something that Bradley has spoken about openly himself.
I don't think it's holding me back in a sense, but I do know that this is one of my biggest insecurities, and it's wearing a hat all the time. I always had a line. I was able to like get my hair cut and still have like a crispy line, but then I grew my hair out once, and then it got to like a length where it was like here, and I was like, what about right here, right here? Like super self-conscious of it. Just, I'll be honest, man, I was insecure about it. But I don't know why I let it go on for so long. No matter what I was doing, I felt like I couldn't leave the house without a hat.
So what exactly is this hair situation? Is it about the hairline? Is he going bald? Well, I suspect it's a bit of all the above. If we take a look at these clips from a recent podcast that he did with his brother, you can see that his brother is also rocking something of a receded hairline. The difference, of course, his brother is wearing it in complete confidence, therefore making it a total non-issue. When you get a rare glimpse of Bradley's hair in his content throughout the years, you can see that there has been some recession and some thinning out. Other than some clips in the early days of his content, now the only glimpse you get is in times when he's fighting and his hat falls off. And it's always followed by a quick scramble to get that hat back on. Now, Bradley has talked about and done things to try to combat this recession or this balding of his hair, most notably talking about PRP injections, as we can see in this video here.
And inject small amounts to help replenish the hair follicles.
What if you did it into my bicep?
He's also had conversations with some of his other content creator friends like Mike Malak, who openly went to Turkey for a cheap hair transplant.
I'll say it, I went to this place called Smile Hair Clinic.
I'm going there,
straight up. Amazing.
Yeah.
But this is something as men that we're like up against. Like it bothered me. Like,
yeah, it bothers the
that's right. Yeah.
What?
That's right.
So he has done things to try to counteract this hair loss. I would also suspect that he's probably not afraid of side effects of certain other medications for hair loss, since he's taking steroids, which also come with the risk of some pretty life-changing side effects. Now, despite these intervention attempts, the hat always remained, and with it, the insecurity. Now, the hat to Bradley is technically known as a safety behavior. He feels anxious about his insecurity over his hair being exposed, so he wears the hat to reduce that anxiety. Now, this is all well and good in dealing with that insecurity temporarily, but eventually the inevitable happens. His secret and his insecurity is exposed. So where does Bradley go from here now? Does he continue to be a slave to the hat and to his insecurity over his hair? Well, maybe not.
And their way of protecting is to attack other people out of insecurity. So people who appear to be very macho, very aggressive, are actually riddled with all kinds of insecurities. He's actually very insecure. I'm not going to fall for his bullying tactics.
Now, Bradley's been expressing a lot of these qualities we heard, talking about him being 260, often challenging a lot of his guests and a lot of other people online to street fights.
Huh? You think you beat me in a street fight?
You're way bigger than me, right? Like,
Yeah.
you say you weigh 260.
260.
I'd beat the...
Got you in the street.
No, I would kill you.
Yeah.
Now that most recently led to calling out Logan Paul for something of a fight. But as a lot of commenters noted, how on earth is he ever going to do a fight without that hat on? They said he'd never do it. Well, it seems they were wrong. And it also seems that Bradley has taken the necessary step for him to get involved in this fight and stop wearing that hat. Now, after this little post-fight reaction, Bradley's looking a little bit defeated, maybe a little bit humbled, as a lot of people are saying, and probably the fight didn't go the way he wanted. But what Logan says here is pretty encouraging.
He didn't wear a hat today. As far as I can tell, he's never going to wear a hat again.
Now, this isn't the first time we've seen Bradley take this action on his hair. He's done it a few times now, but unfortunately, it never seemed to stuck and the hat always remained. Now, he may have lost this most recent battle with Logan Paul, but has he finally won over a much more personal and deeper battle that's been going on for so many years, this insecurity over his balding hair? Well, for him, I genuinely hope so. The hat's off. I hope it can stay off, and just maybe this little incident of him getting exposed like that is a complete blessing in disguise.